They've been on strike 11 days now in Louisville, and they are going to stay on the picket line for now. Our top story on the WHAS11 night team on this Friday night. Hello, everybody. I'm Doug Proffitt. We were there tonight as dozens of striking Ford workers in the East End had their phones in their hand watching the union president speak. WHAS11 night team's Taylor Woods and photojournalist Aspen Hester have more as they waited for any possible encouraging word.
Gathered near a bonfire, dozens of striking union workers outside the East End, Kentucky truck plant watched and listened as UAW International President Shawn Fain gave a Friday update. They've been on the picket line since October 11th.
We've seen serious movement from both Stellantis and GM. Meanwhile, Ford continues to stew about KTP and pretend they can't afford what we're asking for.
Fain didn't announce any new strikes, but he did share proposals showing General Motors and Stellantis have matched Ford in a 23% wage increase.
That is a massive one.
Some KTP employees are feeling the brunt of the strike with the holidays right around the corner.
I mean, it's good that we're making progress and they're coming forward, but we are not where we need to be.
Some union members told me there is still work that needs to be done, and with Ford not making a move, they have no other choice but to strike.
I like those numbers, but it's not there yet.
No.
Well, when it was at 9%, that was as high as we're going to go. We're up to 23%.
Pat Herman says he remembers the days when Ford was known for their large salaries. He and so many others feel wages need to match inflation.
At the end of the day, that's what it is. We're not
As
here.
much as we gave up, we need to go a little bit further.
They say they will picket as long as it takes.
There's still work to be done. There's still talks to be had on both sides, and we will still be out here doing what we need to do in the meantime.
As the days get darker much faster, they're trying to stay optimistic. In Louisville, Taylor Woods, WHAS 11 night team on your side.
And all new on the night team, Ford releasing a statement late tonight responding to Shawn Fain's acknowledgement that Ford has offered a record contract. They say in part, we know that our UAW employees are hurting in this prolonged strike because of lost wages and lost profit sharing. We're eager to conclude these negotiations with a contract that meaningfully improves their lives and provides a strong future for everyone. That's from Ford tonight. Well, school called off again today in Nelson County down in Bardstown. And the big question for the weekend, will the teachers, the students, and the bus drivers return on Monday? Teachers and bus drivers for the past 2 days have been calling out sick in protest of the proposed merger of Nelson County's 2 high schools. However, those in favor of the merger, including Bill Osborne, a former Nelson County school board member, and bus drivers say resources are already stretched thin.
Facilities are not putting kids first. Putting kids first are making sure that they get the education that they deserve. And we need to just back up, let the administration, let the board figure out what's best for this county.
The kids now, they get to play, and some of them won't ever get to play sports. And a lot of them, that's their reason for coming to school.
We have reached out, by the way, to several district representatives on the school board, including those board members who voted for the merger. The superintendent and the district spokespeople all have ignored our request for any comment on the merger and school closures there in Bardstown. Happening new tonight, Shively police have made 2 arrests, they say, in connection with a September shooting right on the Watterson Expressway. Police say they were called to reports of a man down on the off-ramp of the Watterson to Dixie Highway on September 29th. Police say Lewis Jones and Clarnisha Taylor called the man's mother minutes before the shooting to demand money. According to court documents, Taylor told police Jones and the man had gotten into a fight when she heard a gunshot. Police say Taylor then drove herself and Jones away from the scene. Police say the victim would later die at the hospital of his injuries. Jones is charged with murder, while Taylor has been charged with complicity to murder.
I'm not a perfect man, but I would rather die than accept what they have accused me of.
The dramatic statements from the East End Metro Council member Anthony Argentini in his brand new comments today. His Metro Council seat could be on the line if a removal trial unfolds in the next few weeks. Well, Argentini talked to reporters today, calling the ethics investigation about him a sham, saying key facts were omitted. Today, he announced that he and his attorney are going to be fighting the ethics committee ruling in court. Argentini argues the Ethics Commission was stacked against him, complaining that the former Louisville Mayor Greg Fisher handpicked the commission, and the only 2 Republicans on it were actually recently converted Democrats.
And frankly, the fix was in since day one. By all appearances, This was political diversity in name only.
Greg Fisher responded, by the way, through a spokesman today, saying he selected members by virtue of their known and consistent reputation for integrity. To suggest otherwise is nonsense, the former mayor said, and an insult to their commitment to our city. Well, despite Argentini's promise to fight the ruling, the mayor or 5 Metro Council members can start the removal process. On WHAS 11 News at 5 today, Metro Council President Marcus Winkler joined me for a live interview. I asked him if the 5 council members needed to start the removal process will step forward.
I think the Ethics Commission's findings were pretty clear, and I think they were unambiguous, and I would not be surprised if there are 5 people that will bring charges.
Winkler said that if someone moves forward with charges, it could be in the next week or 2. Then it could be until the beginning of next year before we would see movement on a possible trial. Meantime, Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg announced on all of this that he is terminating the city's contract with the group Louisville Healthcare CEO Council. That's the organization at the center of the scandal and the organization that got the original grant money. Now the mayor recommends $16 million go to the Metro United Way, AMPT, Louisville Urban League, and University of Louisville. Those 4 organizations were already going to get part of the $40 million from the council, and because they did nothing wrong, the mayor says they shouldn't be punished.
As a result of this new investment, we will be stronger. We will not let the unethical actions of a couple of people get in the way of that. I am confident that we will save this federal funding and use it to make once-in-a-lifetime investments of millions of dollars.
Greenberg wants to invest the rest of the $24 million into parks and libraries, but they are on a tight timeline. That ARP money must be allocated by the end of the year and spent by 2026, by the end of next year, excuse me. This is just the mayor's recommended plan. The Metro Council will still have to approve it, but Metro Council President Marcus Winkler told us in that live interview at 5 that he supported the mayor's decision to revoke the contract and spend the money in these new areas. Also happening today, the EPA providing a new update from Highview. They are seeing reactions and fire from some of the chemicals as they remove them from the condemned home on Applegate Lane. The EPA says the roof and the back wall of the house are down and its contents are coming out in 2 separate waste streams depending on the debris and the chemicals. The EPA says they have had a few chemical reactions.
Actually, everything is going as well as we planned, and I'm a little surprised and pleased. But we're always on our toes to try and monitor what we're doing constantly. Again, we're going about it very slowly on purpose so that if anything does happen, we can do a stand down, assess the situation, and get back to making sure that it works properly after that.
They did report some good news for nearby residents on this. The EPA says its air monitoring systems show no irregularities in the neighborhood, and they say that they are on schedule to finish this demolition project by the end of the month.